Today I fucked up by trusting my parents. My wife and I had a pandemic baby back in early 2022. She was our first, and so far only, but more importantly was the first grandchild for my parents, and my siblings seem uninterested in having children, so for them it was a big deal. They were mostly okay parents. As a family we did not need anything, but were a pendulum shift between absentee and controlling, and there was a lot left wanting for. Every time we specifically asked for something they couldn't do or get for us, it was always chalked up to God's will in the very annoying way that vaguely religious American families often do. As I grew up, my family grew a bit apart. My older sister moved across country during college and is difficult to even just get on the phone during holidays, and my younger brother lives nearby but feels uncomfortable bringing his husband around outside of Thanksgiving. My parents weren't terrible, which was the nicest thing I could say about them. They were very needy, very selfish, and both very quick to identify themselves as a victim against everyone including each other, just typical narcissistic behavior. I was always the only child they could count on, and although I live now over an hour travel time away, they still call me for minor things, which until this week was something I would begrudgingly help with. When the pandemic started I stopped coming over and helping, explaining to them that we need to stay separated for our own good. My mother did not take that well at first but eventually came around to my line of thinking. Eventually the vaccine came out, and I told them if they got it I would feel comfortable seeing them again, but they were hesitant. I'm sure you figured out where this is going. Once my wife and I told them we were pregnant, my mother said, "Oh, I guess we will need to get the vaccine then," in a sullen tone, which at the time was very funny for my wife and I. After a few weeks we were told they were double dosed, and for the first time in over a year we visited with my parents. I am not going to lie, it was nice. The next few weeks when they called for help every other day was less nice. Over time we've all caught COVID. Thankfully it wasn't severe. My father did have a rough go of it but never needed to be hospitalized. And this weekend we were having dinner together and my mother commented about how they were glad all of that nonsense was now over. I said I was glad that we had the protection of the vaccine. She laughed and told me that they never got vaccinated and that I was being irrational. As you might imagine, I was thunderstruck. She realized quickly and started rationalizing it by saying nothing bad had happened, but she doesn't understand the danger she put herself, my father, and, my newborn in. Now they keep acting like I am unreasonable for telling them that this was a gross betrayal. I have been messaging with my brother who has been on my side about it all, and I am waiting for a proper apology before even thinking about spending time with them again. And #X200B. Too long did not read. My parents lied about their vaccination status to spend time around my baby. Now I don't think I can ever trust them again. They'd be out of my life faster than greased weasel shit. Wow. That's the quickest route to never seeing your grandchild again, Vil. They put your child's life in danger because they couldn't be fucked to get vaccinated for free. There is no apologizing for that. Your siblings have figured out your parents are shitty. You still have not. You're still holding out some hope that this can be fixed. Please stop deluding yourself. They put your entire family's health at risk, including your newborn. Distance yourself and let them understand there are consequences for their actions. Sorry dude, but your parents can get in the bin. You sound like great parents yourselves. Don't waste time trying to fix your folks. Move on and hopefully they will come crawling back with a bit of humility in the future. Either way, the dynamic of your relationship has to change now or they'll walk all over you forever. Today I fucked up by using a noise machine to sleep. My wife and I had been out all day doing things with our friends. Rock climbing, a birthday party, an engagement quiz night, etc. I was exhausted and decided to go home while my wife stayed to finish up the quiz night she was directing for her good friend's engagement. We conveniently live around the corner, so I said good night to everyone and told the wife I'd leave the door open because she had forgotten her set of keys at home. She said she felt uneasy about the door being unlocked, but I said it should be fine as we've never had anyone try and come in unannounced before. I got home, went upstairs, turned on the noise machine and fell asleep. I wake up to an unfamiliar voice telling me to wake up from ground floor outside the bedroom window. I figure it's one of her friends walking her home. I walk downstairs in my boxers to open the door, which I apparently locked on instinct, and my wife just stares at me and angrily says, "Why didn't you pick up your phone? It was dead and I hadn't charged it as I was too exhausted." While I was wondering why she hadn't used the doorbell, I look behind her and see a few policemen and firefighters. I ask her curiously if she knew what was going on and she says, "I thought you were unresponsive or in trouble. You're the lightest sleeper in the world, but you didn't hear the doorbell. You didn't hear the metal music I blasted in the living room via the Bluetooth speaker, and you didn't hear me yelling your name with the window beside you." Significant other THE firefighters took a ladder to yell at you from the bedroom window on the second floor. I was shocked and confused. She then came inside, went to bed with me, and I cuddled her and apologized. The next morning I went downstairs to try the doorbell and knock while she was in the bedroom with the noise machine on. She couldn't hear any of it. We've put a few new measures in place to help prevent a similar situation in the future. We're now joking about it, but I think it'll be a sore spot for a bit. Too long did not read. I used a noise machine to help me sleep and slept through a million things I shouldn't have been able to sleep through and had firefighters wake me up from outside my second floor window. I use a CPAP machine and have headphones in when I go to sleep. My apartment got broken into one morning about 3/4 and I didn't hear a thing. Thankfully my sister was awake and called the cops loudly, so the woman ran off before stealing anything, but seriously, I didn't wake up from anything, the door being kicked in, our computers being pulled to the floor, or my sister calling and then talking to the police once they arrived. Only once they left and she actually shook me did I wake up cold sweat smile. I'm a heavy sleeper and don't wake easily. One morning my mother went out and I locked the house from inside and dozed off. My mother kept knocking for about 30 minutes but no response. She finally turned off the main switch which killed the AC and I woke up due to heat. You should put this text as your Amazon rating for this product. The trick is to find the perfect volume for your noise machine. Not too quiet but not too loud. Thanks to stupid young me going to metal concerts in my 20s with no hearing protection, I now have a buddy that goes with me everywhere named Tinnitus. At night I have to run a fan to help me sleep. My partner hates it but loves me enough to put up with it. Today I fucked up when I suggested that my friends and I sleep together. Last year my two friends, M and F, and I, M, made a pact to sleep together if none of us managed to get laid before we all turned 18. It was my suggestion. A joke at first, but underneath the humor we began to explore the idea. Call it too much HBO or pressure to be sexually active like most of our peers in high school. Less than 2 weeks ago, I turned 18. Both my friends were 18 too. Based on my knowledge, we were all still virgins. This morning at school I asked my friends if we were gonna go through with our pact or chuck it in the bin. My friends looked at each other like they were debating who was gonna break the news. My female friend said she was no longer a virgin because she was sleeping with our male friend. My male friend said the two of them had been hooking up since the pact was made. Both of them implied that the pact prompted the two of them to test how attracted they were to each other. I asked if it was too late for my test. My male friend put his arm around our female friend and said the purpose of the pact was to help virgins and they're not virgins. My female friend said the threesome would never have worked because we were too inexperienced. She begged me not to take it personally and said I was good at making her laugh whereas our male friend was good at making her orgasm. My male friend said he could do both before tickling our female friend until she laughed. His hands were all over her. Not gonna lie, it was uncomfortable to watch. If I knew the outcome of the pact would not only keep my virginity intact, but also turn me into the third wheel, I would have said nothing at all. TLR I suggested that my friends and I have a threesome since we were all virgins with no one else to sleep with. My suggestion inspired my friends to sleep with each other and leave me out of it. Now I'm not only a virgin, but also a third wheel. The pact was a silly idea, as was taking it seriously, but all the same, oof buddy. It's a shame that they couldn't have told you about them being friends with benefits, or an item. Beforehand, not because of the pact, but because you're supposed to be friends. This makes me want to throw up from secondhand embarrassment. GIF. Giphy, Unflick OAV3TX. She begged me not to take it personally and said I was good at making her laugh whereas our male friend was good at making her orgasm. You don't say that without the intent of destroying someone. This made me physically cringe, as if I just watched someone get kicked in the balls. Today I fucked up by asking my mom what was wrong. Background. My 17 female, mom, 37 female, had surgery 5 weeks ago and her and my dad have been having relationship troubles for the past few years. Here's the foo. I get home from grocery shopping and school and she's upstairs in her bed and she seems sad, but in like a stressed out way, which has been her normal lately. I figured I'd ask her what was wrong and she starts sobbing and says, "Nothing." I call her out on her bullshit and she said that she's too embarrassed to tell me and keeps saying that she can't believe she's telling her 17-year-old child this. She tells me that she bought a vibrator a year or so ago and it's missing. She said that either my dad found it, got jealous and threw it away, or my 13-year-old sister found it in its hiding spot and took it. The vibrator was put in an old clutch of my mom's and placed in a drawer in my parents' bedroom. My sister has been wearing my mom's shoes and going in and out of that drawer for the shoes, and she has a knack for stealing, so that's why she would have it. I don't judge her at all, but I'm in disbelief and my mom is sobbing, so I say that I'll go look for it before she goes to my dad about it. Either way, she has a problem with an emotionally abusive, jealous husband or an interesting talk with my unknowing sister. So here I am, looking for my mom's vibrator through my sister's stuff. I am sitting on my sister's bed right now trying to comprehend everything. Too long did not read. I asked my mom what was wrong only to find out her vibrator is missing, and now I am looking for my mom's vibrator. Edit. My dad didn't take it, nor is he mad, jealous. That only leaves my sister. I want to send you good vibes in your search. Get back to us with how many sex toys you found in your sister's stuff. Interesting conversation with mum. Is it one of these? Why was she sobbing though, loudly crying? Get that woman her vibrator. If she has a dresser, remove the bottom drawer, there's usually space in between that and the floor. Assuming you don't have bottom wood piece separating the two. In a boot. In her dirty clothes. It might be in her backpack. Behind the towels in the bathroom. Anywhere in the bathroom.